St. John Baptist de La Salle wrote a small book called The Collection, and in it he had several pieces of advice for the brothers as living as religious and living as teachers in community life. There's one sentence in that collection in which he says the 12 virtues of a good teacher, and he lists 12 virtues, and that's the last we hear of those mentioned by the founder. Then about the time of the French Revolution, Brother Agathon was the superior general, and he took those 12 virtues and he wrote a little booklet in which he expounded on each of those virtues. The first virtue I think is very important for all of us is generosity. When you are giving of yourself, you're healthier, life goes much better, people respond to you better. And for the teacher, generosity means the willingness to spend all the extra time preparing lessons, the willingness in class to put up with all the different sufferings that come along and not retaliate. You can correct but not retaliate. Generosity means that you give of extra time. You don't have a time clock as some people do when you speak to an attorney. They press a little button and they record how much time they're using. Generosity for us does not mean that. It means giving of yourself. The founder even says in the rule or in his meditation that do not be surprised if you don't live a long time, because you will have given yourself completely. You will exhaust yourself in the cause of Christian education of youth. The opposite of generosity, of course, is selfishness. When you get into the profession, what can I get from this? How will I profit from this? And that immediately sets an orientation in the teacher which will turn off the students, turn off their families, and wear out the teacher. The teacher will not enjoy the work because that person is waiting for rewards all the time. It's a form of selfishness. When the students are unruly, when they're uncooperative, selfishness makes the teacher want to lash out at them, punish, give out unfair judgments to people. And again, the opposite of it, practice generosity, to be giving. People see right through that. You've heard the quotation, make an impression. That is the impression that you make. Well, generosity goes beyond that. It's that spirit of giving. People see right through a person, and they can tell if the person is interested in them, is willing to go beyond just that 9-to-5 work. I'll do the absolute minimum. And you end up getting rewarded, because the reward is the gratefulness, the gratitude, the affection of the students. You don't do your work for them to like you, but at the same time, when you work very hard, when you're generous with your time, your talent, you've studied hard, you've prepared well, you correct papers on time, you give lots of work and exhaust yourself in the work, and the payback comes in the great appreciation that you have. This is the next virtue, and you've always noticed little dogs. Little tiny dogs are the ones you're afraid of. They snap at you. They're worried that you're going to hurt them. The little boy syndrome, we've heard about that, where they're mean. They can't take any kind of correction and they snap back. Persons who suffer from inferiority complexes, they practice harshness. They're rough on other people. But gentleness starts off with strength. At our school, we've had a boy named Chris Mosby in the class of 2006. He was the gentle giant. He was a big guy. He was tough. He was a good athlete. But he was the one that was nice to the little guys. Strength comes about and results in gentleness. Weakness, people become harsh, they're nasty, they're mean. And for teachers who are well prepared, people, they have worked hard for their lessons, they know their students, they constantly speak to them, they keep up to date in their fields, they can practice gentleness, and the students will not run over them. You don't have to be cruel to students. If they know that you're working for them, that you have really prepared, they're going to still box with you. They still want to spar, but at the same time, gentleness will win so much more than harshness and brutality. The opposite of that is of gentleness, of course, is harshness, roughness, and that pays terrible dividends. Whereas gentleness is not at all equated with weakness, but it's equated with strength. And when a teacher is gentle, the students will reward that teacher by cooperating and supporting and being willing more to learn. It doesn't take all the problems away. That would be nuts to try to think you're going to lose all your problems. But gentleness always wins out over brutality.